Wondering how you can become better at running your business? Entrepreneurship can be stressful. There's too much to do and not enough time. If you're isolated in your daily decisions, have no fear. Success and balance are possible. Welcome to the Small Business Answer Man podcast, where you master the art of running a successful business using practical advice from experts who want to help you succeed. Now, here's your host, Gary Wilbers.
Welcome to the Small Business Answer Man podcast. It's hard to believe, but it's already the fourth quarter. But the thing we try to do in this podcast is help entrepreneurs and business owners find solutions so they don't become overwhelmed and stressed. Are you ready to hear about one of the areas of the 6P business owner formula? Those 6 areas are people, productivity, pricing, promotion, process, and profits. Let's meet our guest today, Cam, and he's going to share with us what problem will you help our listeners solve today?
I'm going to help you solve effectiveness. I'm going to help you be more effective by optimizing your health so you can control your health, control your time, and then control your money so that you are being effective and efficient in everything you do.
Cam, I'm looking forward to this conversation because that becomes a big topic for all people, really. But we're talking about business owners, entrepreneurs, and that kind of elevates it to a whole nother level. So today I've got with us Cam Hall. He's a husband, father, educational leader, and an entrepreneur. Cam believes that all men are called to live fit, healthy, and fulfilled lives, and that every man can make a positive impact on those around him. He is the founder of the Fight the Dad Bod coaching program, host of the Dad's Making a Difference podcast, and the leader of the DMD Mastermind. Cam Hall, it is great to have you on the podcast. Welcome.
Thank you, Gary. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm honored.
Well, I'm excited to have you on because we're in that fourth quarter of the year. And a lot of people think when you start talking about health, okay, well, I'll think about that come January, and it gets really on their radar. And I'm a believer, I told you off screen that I started my health journey of getting back in better health on November 18th, 2002. And I can remember that exact day. And I had people even say, well, why are you doing that? Because with all the holidays coming up, that's a terrible time to start. I said, no, it's not, because you got to start somewhere. And that, I think that's the key. So this health side, I'm so excited. And then really about effectiveness, because it doesn't matter where you're at. Today, we're getting pulled in so many different areas. So let's start with a question that I think you'll be able to share some expertise with us. Why do you think, really it's for all men, but we're going to talk about those business owners, tend to neglect their health?
Why is because they don't prioritize it. You know, you just mentioned we're going to the fourth quarter, which for many of us tends to be a time where we slow down a little bit. We start to think ahead. We're looking to the new year. We're looking to our new goals. Quarter one, we're going to jump off strong. And we tend to let things slide a little bit in this fourth quarter. And what I mean by that is guys aren't being lazy. There's no one listening to this right now, to this podcast, who's lazy, but there's guys here whose mind might drift. They might prioritize other things in their life. So they're heading into the holiday season. You mentioned this, and people will say, well, why am I to prioritize my health now? We got Thanksgiving, we've got Christmas and the holidays, family gatherings. Why would I do this now? And I would argue that this is the best time to do this, because when quarter one starts, you want to be optimized. You want your body fueled, empowered, and ready to go. You want your mind sharp and your body rested. And the best time to prepare yourself for that busy time of January 1st and quarter one is right now. And I'm glad that you shared a little bit about your story and starting in November, because you were able to navigate some of the complexities that happened in quarter four. And I think that probably prepared you for the length of your journey and working through these little things that popped up in your life. Am I right?
Oh, definitely. It made a big difference. I didn't lose a ton, but I set some really habits in place that really propelled me at the beginning of the year.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And those habits are going to stay with you. And so why do business owners struggle with this? And it's because it's not a priority. And I think we need to shift our mindset as the small business answer man and the small business owner to prioritize our health, and know by doing so, we are going to optimize our business. We're going to be more effective, make more sales, make a bigger impact if we're feeling our best.
Well, I know the story because I was there, because I was that stressed, overwhelmed, over 100 employees, felt every bit of that stress, 3 young children at the time, and I felt it. And what I was doing is I was expressing that back not only to my team, but to my family. And
Mm.
I knew I had to make that change. And I'll be honest, what did it? I tell this story when I'm speaking, Cam, is I was down playing horsey with kids, and it's where, you buck them off and they get back
Yeah.
on. Well,
Yeah.
this horsey would do that 4 or 5 times and he'd go flat because he was
Right.
too tired. And of course, what his little kids do, they say, get up, daddy, get up. And I was too tired to do it. And I knew I wanted to be an active father for my children and stuff. And it made that change. So as somebody's hearing this story, I'm not sharing my story. I'm sharing those challenges. I want you to think about it because now is the time. And Cam's going to give us some of that. And it's not only changes you, it changes your lifestyle and it changes your family dynamic for the rest of your life. So I'm going to ask you the next question to kind of go in some of those ways that neglecting our physical health really impacts us with that effectiveness that small business owners have. And I know this is true because I know this story for myself.
Yeah, well, you think about, I'm going to talk about nutrition for a moment. When you think about food and the relationship that we have with food, when do we enjoy it? We enjoy it when we enjoy food is when we're with family, we're with friends, it's social, maybe there's a spiritual component to it. And when we don't enjoy food is when we feel like we have to, or we're neglecting, or we are depriving ourselves of something that we enjoy. Now, a healthy relationship with food is when you know that food is fuel. Food is fuel. That's it. It's not a tool to lose weight. It's not a tool to build muscle. It's not a tool for anything. It is fuel. And our body needs it to function optimally. And so when you are fueling your body effectively, you have a clear mind, you're sleeping better, you're managing the stresses of the day-to-day life and maybe a little bit of anxiety in a more effective way. You're building lean muscle, which makes you stronger, more resilient to things that will come your way, helps you do the bucking horse with the kids on the floor.
Yes.
And I'm going to tell you a little side story here. One of my most successful clients I've ever worked with, his starting goal was that he would get home at the end of a workday, and he had a small business, and he would get home at the end of the workday to have enough energy to cut the grass. That's it. I just want to be able to cut the grass at the end of the day and not feel exhausted. And so when we look at what happens when we don't prioritize our health, well, our effectiveness goes down. So I want you to sleep better. I want you to fuel your body more efficiently. I want you to build muscle, burn stored fat, and I want you to manage stress differently so you can live a fit, healthy, and fulfilled life with those around you. Because many of us, the driving why of our business is to provide for those closest to us. Well, if we're working so hard to provide, and yet we're not prioritizing our health, we're providing, but we're not being present. And so we also want to be present.
Yeah, that becomes huge because it really changes the dynamic of you. Because I'm going to share the story through myself because I know other business owners are feeling it. And what happens for your business is the creativity. I mean,
Right.
what I saw in my business is I became more creative because I had more energy. And I wasn't that person that was always tired. And I wasn't that cranky old boss, to be quite honest, too. So I was able to inspire, motivate my team and get them excited about what we saw in the business go. And we really took off after that. We had 5, 6, 7 years of really success that we created before the recession hit. And we even managed through the recession because I was more aware of what was happening. But I'm telling you, it's not as hard as people think. I love what you say about food as fuel, because I always said I never dieted. I changed my eating habits.
Right.
And
Right.
I'd love to hear
Absolutely.
what you think about when you think about nutrition and what you share with your clients when you look at that area of changing, thinking differently and stuff where food becomes fuel.
We're conditioned to think that when we change what we're eating, we're on a diet. And when I hear the word diet, I think of deprivation. We're dieting. I'm cutting out foods that I love to get to a desired result. And I go back to my story, and we don't have time to get into the deep story, but really why I started Fight the Dad Bod in the first place back in 2015 was I was a young father who had a history of struggling with a relationship with food. A little bit of body dysmorphia, personal image issues, some confidence stuff. And that all came to play and came to head with my relationship with food. My wife, not my wife at the time, but when my wife met me, she said, well, you need to fix this. Like, this isn't healthy. And so in 2015, I was struggling as a new dad, at that time, I was doing my master's degree in leadership. I was 2-year-old newborn assistant principal in elementary school. So many things going on, but I couldn't manage it. I didn't have the skills. I didn't have the routines or the structure in my life, and my food was all over the place. But when I shifted and I prioritized my health and how I was fueling my body, I call it PFC every 3, proteins, fats, carbohydrates every 3 hours. And when I started implementing this practice, not only did I get the desired body change that I want, not only did I get more energy, more clarity, I also started to have more confidence that I could actually follow through on something. And I had a plan and I had structure. And if anyone listening to this knows what success takes, it takes a little bit of a plan and a lot of structure. So we need to be able to be disciplined and follow a plan. And what I love to do with guys and business owners especially is to build a plan that is, I call it simplistic, but not easy. The plan is simple to follow. What's not easy is finding how it fits into your life. So as you're a business owner and you're going through and you want to take some simple steps, my biggest thing, and this has become a little bit cliche, but I say it all the time, is commit to 1%. I'm a dad, and my business is called Fight the Dad Bod. So I would think of my kids when they started to walk and they're couch surfing and they're falling over and they get back up and they're falling over. Well, they just did that one step at a time. They didn't fall over the first time and then give it all up. They took that one step and started to build on that. And so my encouragement to you, if you are a business owner looking to take control of your health, the first simple step would be to get more sleep. And you might think I would have gone with food, but I think sleep is the foundation. So you need to control your sleep. That's the first step. Once you have your sleep optimized, you can move on to number 2, which is you're going to fuel your body more efficiently. Start with a breakfast. There's guys out there who might be, I'm going to fast. Well, I'm going to tell you, fuel your body in the morning and see how it feels. And so you go sleep first, food, then let's start to put in some exercise. And that can be a walk with your family. That could be a walk at the end of the day of work. It could be taking the stairs instead of the elevator. It can be a 20-minute bike ride. It can be walking your dog. But be active. Put some more activity into your week. So those are the first 3 steps, I would say. I don't want to go too much. We go into the program, we talk about water and vitamins and minerals and supplementation. We do all that in the program. But I think for a business owner right now, control your sleep and you control your energy, control your food, implement PFC every 3. Aim to get proteins, fats, carbohydrates in your body as often as you can, every 3 to 4 hours. And then implement more activity in your day-to-day, because as entrepreneurs and business owners, we are so driven that we can get sucked into the work, and the work can distract us from those little things that we really need to do to make sure we're being optimally fueled and that we have the energy that we need.
Well, thanks for sharing. That's some great information. And we're going to dig deeper into that, but let's take a short commercial break and we'll be right back. And now back to the show. Well, Cam, I really love how you set that up, because really those 3 become critical components. And I believe in that too. And I love that you talked about sleep, because I've done a lot of different reading of how valuable this is. I was just in a leadership training this week, and I had them raise their hands of how many people get at least 7 hours of sleep. There was about 20 people in the room.
Yeah.
There was about 3 people that raised their hand.
Wow.
And I was one of the 3.
Yeah.
So I want you to think about that. I want you to share some of that information, why you believe sleep is so valuable.
Well, when we think about sleep, we think about recharging our body. Okay. So we all have a cell phone. If you don't plug that cell phone in at night and you wake up in the morning and now about 10 a.m., you're answering emails, you're sending messages to your team and you're running low on battery, how much longer are you going to be able to do that? Well, you're not. And I want you to think about sleep the same way. You plug in your phone every night, you're going to recharge your body. And 7 hours is great. Some people will say, Cam, how much sleep should I get? And I'll say, well, that's a great question. I don't know. Let's figure it out. Let's start with 7. 7's a good place to start, but let's make the increments move up. because 7, I think you need a little bit more. So for you, maybe it's 7 hours. Maybe the next person, 7 hours and 15 minutes. Maybe it's 7 hours and 30 minutes. Maybe it's 6 hours and 45 minutes. And so we play with increments, because when you think of a sleep cycle, a general sleep cycle will take about 90 minutes. But we're not all the same, and we're not typical. So if somebody says a typical sleep cycle takes 90 minutes, well, I'm not typical. You're not typical. We all are different. And so we need to find what works for us. But here's my encouragement to you. You can figure this out in a simple way. The simple way is that you set a reverse alarm. At night, you go to bed at the same time every night. Do this for a week. I challenge you to do this for a week. Set a bedtime, just like you did with your kids. Set a bedtime, go to bed at the same time every night, and wake up at the same time every morning. Aim for that 7 hours to start. That's great. But do that every day for about 5 to 7 days and see how you feel. And then the next week, keep your bedtime the same and adjust when you wake up. Or if you're like me and you're really like, I'm very passionate about my mornings and controlling my day. If I'm like, no, I'm going to be up by a certain time. Let's say somebody picks 5 o'clock a.m. If you're working at 5 a.m., then let's put that 15 minutes on the other end, because let's be honest, Gary, most of us, that last 15 minutes of our evening isn't very effective time anyway. So we could put our 50 minutes on there. So first step, simple step you can implement right now is learn what your optimal number of hours of sleep is and stick to it. And the way to get there, go to bed at the same time, wake up at the same time, and then play with that for a couple of weeks over a month period of time. And you'll find where you feel your best.
Yeah, I love that, because I start with the 7. I just want to see where there is a 7, because I want it to say 7 to 9, because I know mine is 8 hours. I know what my number is. I function best with 8 hours of sleep. Do I get it every night? No, but most nights I do. And, I get told, my kids laugh at me now. They're teenagers. They're actually grown adults now, young adults. And, dad goes to bed at 9 o'clock, even in the summer. And they're like, gosh, you're going to go to bed before the sun's down. And it's like, yes, I am.
And I'll be up before it rises. So let's go.
Yeah, exactly. So that makes it fun. Let's talk about that next one. You shared a little bit about that, but I want you to really share what you mean by that with the fuel the body. And I think you said PF3, and give us some kind of things that we can really think about there.
Absolutely. So PFC every 3, proteins, fats, carbohydrates, the 3 macronutrients that our body needs to function. I'm sick and tired of this dieting culture and the stuff that we're seeing in the media. It says cut carbs, cut carbs, cut carbs. Carbs is where we get energy. That's where glucose, that's where we get energy in our body. We need carbohydrates. We need healthy carbohydrates in our nutritional plan. And when I say the word diet, I'm talking about a nutritional plan, not deprivation. And so PFC every 3. And that starts simple. I want you to start with breakfast. Now that we know when you're getting up in the morning, within 1 hour of waking, I want you to have a breakfast. And PFC every 3 can be simple. If you're an eggs person, have 2 eggs. That's your protein and your fat. And then you have some carbohydrates. Maybe you have some oatmeal, maybe a quarter of a cup of oatmeal. Maybe you have some mixed berries, a banana. Maybe you have a couple of pieces of toast. Whatever you have, that's a balance. So we're looking at proteins, fats, carbohydrates. And then from there, 3 hours later, I want you to try to fuel your body again. Now, some people will use gap fillers, powdered protein shakes, bars, something like that. I just want you to put some fuel in your body that's a healthy choice and as closely balanced to PFC every 3 as you can. And so I just paused for a second. I was like, I haven't told you the balance. And so I want to give you the balance. So I want you to be able to implement this right now when you're leaving this podcast. Aim for 5 ounces of protein, 5 ounces of carbohydrates, and 1 to 2 ounces of fat, just to start. That's a good place for everyone to start. 5 ounces of protein, 5 ounces of carbohydrates, 1 to 2 ounces of fat. What that's going to do is going to give you a meal that's about 400 to 500 calories. That's really good for the most human beings to be able to function. We look at 5 to 6 meals a day. We're looking about 2,000 calories a day, which is really good for most people. So just aim for that. Do the sleep routine. Wake up in the morning and start your day with a PFC balanced breakfast. Have some eggs, have some toast, get into your day. You're going to balance your blood sugar, and everything I teach is about balancing your blood sugar. That's where this is founded in blood sugar stabilization. And once your blood sugar stabilized, you're going to be rocking through your day.
Excellent. I appreciate you sharing that and giving some good, really feedback for people to take and really be able to implement. And remember, we're not talking about next year. We're talking about right now. you can start this process. Let's talk a little bit before we have to wrap up and stuff, is in that exercise, because I loved how you
Absolutely.
attack this. And instead of going all at it, and, I've read, I'm sure you have too, Atomic Habits. I love James Clear's work there. Is, start simple and just get started.
Yeah. Just get started. You don't have to sign up for a gym or get out to some facility. You can do it right at home, and it doesn't have to be hard. It can be something that's quick as a Tabata workout that you searched on the internet. You follow along a YouTube video. You grab one of our free guides that we'll give you at home workout program, whatever you need. Just start simple. And it can be as simple as walking your dog. Simple can also be doing push-ups, sit-ups, air squats, and a couple lunges in your day. Like, it doesn't have to be complicated. You just need to do it. And then as you do it, you're going to build a routine. You're going to build the discipline to do it. And you're going to want to do a little bit more difficult. And you're going to want to test yourself. And you're going to have more energy. And what we see as we progress, and you've seen this in your journey, losing 75 pounds, is our food will help us start to get results. So if our goal, let's say, is fat loss, by managing our food and PFC every 3, we will burn fat. Blood sugar stabilization, blood sugar stabilize, we release stored fat as energy. You will burn fat. You will lose weight. That's fantastic. But to be able to keep that off and to be able to live a fit, healthy, fulfilled life, we also need to build muscle. Muscle is the engine in our body, and muscle burns fat as well. And people don't realize that. And so we need to build lean muscle to keep our metabolism rocking, because our metabolism is run by our muscle. And so people will just go to fat burning cardio, like a walk on a treadmill or something like that, hoping to lose weight. And they don't understand, actually, you would get better results doing a 10-minute workout of body weight in your bedroom before you go to bed at night, or wait after you wake up in the morning, than half an hour, 45 minutes on this treadmill. So just start simple. Body weight exercises, you can search them up. YouTube, do a 10-minute body weight exercise video, and you can follow that along, and that's going to get you started in the right direction, because exercise will maximize your results.
Well, I hope listeners, this is why I wanted Cam on the show now and not waiting till January or February, because we want you to start that process. And there's so much more we can discuss, but we're kind of up against that time. But Cam, you said you would offer our guest, I think, a 7 steps to lose 7 pounds in 7 days. Would you share that?
Yeah.
Share your website and information, so if they want to learn more, they can go do it now.
Absolutely. So go to www.fightthedadbod.com. Fightthedadbod.com. You're going to see a link at the bottom. You're going to download that guide. It is called 7 Steps to Lose 7 Pounds in 7 Days. And this is not some flash diet, detox, whatever. It's actually 7 very useful, functional habits that you can create in your life. And the last habit, I actually outline a 7-day nutrition plan that you can follow right now, so that you can blast, bloat, and inflammation from your body, so you're feeling your best and you're optimized to go. So go get that free guide, 7 Steps to Lose Your 7 Pounds in 7 Days, at fightthedadbod.com.
Well, we appreciate you coming on, but before I let you go, I have to ask one more question, and I have a feeling, I think, where the direction we're going to go with this, but what's your best advice you would give to business owners and entrepreneurs?
My best advice is to take care of yourself. There's only so much you can do in your business and in your life and as an entrepreneur if you're not taking care of your health. We want you to be optimized and be successful. So start with yourself, take care of your health, because without your health, you have nothing. And if you take care of your health, you're going to make more money, you're going to be more effective, and you're going to make a much bigger impact.
And I can tell you for a fact that is true. So please check out his information, fightthedadbod.com. We'll have it all in show notes. So if you're traveling, doing something that you can't write that down, don't worry, it's in show notes. If you're on your app, the link is right there. You're going to be able to hit the button, go get that download, 7 Steps to Lose 7 Pounds in 7 days. And what it's going to do is it's going to start you on this process that we've really outlined in the podcast. So you're going to be ready, and you're going to be started before the end of the year, and you're going to have some of those habits already in place. So Cam, thank you so much for joining us on this podcast today.
Well, thank you for having me. It was a pleasure.
Well, now really go out and get your information. I always give an action. What can you do to really take action on it? The biggest thing I can tell you is, let's start the habit. Let's do the 7 days, and 7 pounds will come off, and you'll be really ready But what it really will do, it will set your mindset up that you can win. And then if you'd like, check out the rest of this information. That's what Cam does. He helps business owners and entrepreneurs get on that journey of health, because when we're good fathers, guess what? Our kids grow up with those habits too. My kids don't remember me when I was 275 pounds. When I show them the picture, they're like, and things of that nature. They remember who I am now, because for 20 some years now, I've been maintaining that habit. And I want that for each of you. And I know it's hard, it's tough, but you got to have someone help you along the way. And we've shared that information with you. So thanks for joining us today on the podcast. It's all the time we have, but until next time, go out there each day and continue to grow your business. But remember, don't ascend to the top of the mountain by yourself. It's lonely up there then. When you help others achieve their success, you find significance in your life. That's why Cam shared with us today, because he's bringing significance to others and he's living his life purpose and passion. Make it a great day. We'll see you next week.
That's all the time we have for this week. To continue your journey, head over to smallbusinessanswerman.biz to access the tools and resources mentioned in today's show. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe and share it with someone who would benefit from listening. That's smallbusinessanswerman.biz. Until next time, remember, when you find the right solutions, your business grows and you get your time back.